I am with my video tutorial on a C programming language, Introduction to the C programming language. In this entire video lecture series, I will be using the MS Paint in order to explain certain things, and I will be using the code block software in order to run my C program, evaluate it, and etc. So I'll be making a brief tutorial and maybe making a brief tutorial on how to install CodeBox and what is CodeBlock and all those things. So in this tutorial we will concentrate on why do we need a programming language. Okay, let's assume that there are two guys. So one guy, yeah, he is the one, and we have another guy. Oh. This guy knows only the English language and this guy knows only the language Kannada. So whenever this English guy want to communicate with this Kannada guy will not understand anything because he is speaking in a language that this guy cannot understand. Similar thing happens when this Kannada guy want to communicate with an English guy. In order to overcome this problem, we need another guy. So another guy is there who is very brilliant, I guess. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. This guy knows both English as well as Kannada. So whenever this English guy want to communicate with a Kannada guy, he instead tell this guy to tell the English code. This guy will translate into Kannada and tell to him. And whenever this Kannada guy want to speak, he can tell his Kannada code and he tell them the English guy. So this communication between these guys who don't know each other languages will be able to communicate with help of this guy who is acting as a translator. Now suppose if we have a computer, okay, this is our computer. Let's write it. Yeah, computer, computer. So we have a computer and I am the user. I am using my computer. So I am the user and there is a computer. So why I need to enter similar to this situation, right? Yeah. Please user, I'm not good at writing, I'm practicing just these days. So this user like us want to interact with the computer. So why do we need to interact with the computer is the second question which may arise among ourselves. We need to interact with the computer because we do the computations using the computer. If the human brain takes 1 second to do certain multiplication, and he might take like 30 to 32 years to solve a very big problem like the problem of Brahma and all those things, it takes very large time for the human to do it. Whenever we try to implement by using the computer, it does in the second. So the computation speed of the computer is very much high compared to us. But the one thing the computer lacks is that the computer does not have its intelligence on its own. The computer does not know what to do unless we give the instruction. So similar to this situation, English and the Kannada guy, the user and the computer are different scenario. The user knows the languages which another user can understand, another human can understand. The computer knows the language of just the zeros and ones. Whenever this user interacts with a computer, he must use the language of zeros and ones. Otherwise, he is not able to communicate with a computer. Let's say this guy is very brilliant and knows the computer languages, so he uses zeros and ones. So change the color. So he communicates computer directly with the zeros and ones. 0 1 1 some little something shit. So he communicates with a computer by using the zeros and ones. Well, there is some user, some who is not so brilliant like this user, someone like me, who don't know the machine level language, they don't know the zeros and ones actually. So he wants to communicate with a computer. Similar to this one, we need some translator. So this is, let's assume this is a translator. Yeah, quite okay. This is translator. Now I have a translator, I have a user and a computer. So computer is this translator. We can give the capability that whatever the user speaks, it translates into the machine code so that computer understands. So it translates into zeros and ones. Based on these things, we can divide the programming languages into three types. One is the machine level language. Second one is the assembly level language. Third is the high level language. What is machine level language, assembly level language and high level language? If we try to interact with a computer, or if we give the instruction to the computer by using the machine code, then it is known as the machine level language. So if you have a machine level language, well, this user don't know the English and Kannada, let him train the user, write the machine level language. Then why do we need the very higher level languages? The advantage of machine level language is the computation speed is very high. The process instruction get executes is very fast. The problem is that whenever you write an instruction by using the machine level language for the certain processor, we all know the processor used in our computers, right? I am having my laptop with i7 processor, someone may have the i3 processor, Pentium processor, a lot of ARM processors or the Cortex A9 processors, a lot of processors are available. So if you write a machine code using the zeros and ones, you write the machine level languages, it's only work for that computer. Whenever you change the processor, it does not work. That's the major thing. So it's like, it's not portable. It's not a portable in the sense you write code in your computer, you want to execute in a college computer, it doesn't work. That's the problem of this machine level language. So the difficulty of the machine level language led to the development of assembly level language. In assembly level languages, we write somewhat known as code. Let's give a simple example for code. Add a comma b. What it does, it adds the content of a and the content of b and stores in a. So it adds a plus b and stores the result in a itself. This is what this instruction do. This add is known as the mnemonics. So this mnemonics, the symbol names or the add is known as the mnemonics. So you write a code, add is also called as a code or a mnemonics. You add a code, it performs certain instructions. So whenever you write this code, the computer does not understand. Certainly you require a translator. So you can directly go for the translator. So translator used in this case is known as assembler. I have written it as A. We use an assembler. Whenever user writes the program, assembler converts the code into zeros and ones and gives it into the computer. So the computer understands the zeros and ones and executes the instruction. Now, if you have an assembly level language, well, it is very high compared to the machine level language. It's developed. Are we satisfied? No. What are the problems? It's that the major advantage we'll go. The advantages, like symbols are easy to remember. There are certain of like 250 to 300 symbols are there, or mnemonics are there. Remember it, write the programs, work efficiently. The modification is easier compared to the machine language, but it is somewhat very much difficult. And the problem is that this is not a portable language. Write assembly level code, it's machine dependent. So the assembly code working on certain processor does not work on another processor. So you need to redesign an assembler whenever you change a processor. It takes very hard time and it is not feasible. Next is that the problem associated with these two languages, both machine as well as assembly level language, is that when you write a very large code, it is very difficult to debug. So debugging process becomes very lengthy task and very tedious task. So the problem associated with these led to the development of high level language. What is high level language in a sense? High level language is some language which we like to communicate. I know English. I want to communicate with a computer by using the English. Similar to this guy. This guy knows English. He want to communicate Kannada guy with English itself. So he uses a translator as a middleman. Similar to that, whenever you try to communicate with a computer by using English or English like languages, yeah, I don't want to, yeah, English like languages, what you do is you require some middleman. The middleman in this case of process is either compiler or interpreter. We'll detailedly discuss about the compiler and interpreter in our next few lectures classes, but let us understand. The compiler and interpreter is a translator. Whenever you write the code in C like data, it compiles and gives the code in the machine level languages so that the computer can understand, carry out our instruction. So the main aim of doing all these tasks is that to understand, to write in a language that computer understand. Since we are not directly capable of doing that, we indirectly doing by the language we know, use the translator as a middleman, convert it into the some machine code and run it. Now, so we can conclude this lecture by things. So let me delete free few data. Yeah, this is more than enough. So whenever you write an instruction, first you write, whenever you write a program in a high level language, this is the follow steps to in order to execute the program. So whenever you write a program, you write some source code. The source code is the code or the things you want to tell the computer to do. Whenever you write a source code, you must compile it first. So whenever you compile it, the compiler acts as a translator by using the compiler. So the compiler acts as a translator, P-I-L-E-R, compile. Maybe wrong, maybe right or wrong, I don't know. Yeah, compiler, it generates the machine codes, the zeros and ones. When you have the machine code, you can run it in your computer. After running it, you can view your results or you can see your instructions working and all those things. So what is the advantage of this high level languages? The high level languages is very easier to understand, easy to write, modify, debug, compact, self-explanatory, and one more thing is it's portable. That means write a C code in your computer, you run on your college machine works, run on your somewhat old processor works, some run in advanced processor, it works. So what are the disadvantage of high level language? Is there any disadvantage? Yeah. The execution speed in case of machine and assembly level language is very high, but the time for the compilation takes in the high level language is very less. So the execution speed or a time is more in case of high level languages. This is one of the disadvantage of this one, which can be overcome by writing a very source code. You write a source code in such a fashion that you can reduce use of better algorithm, and if you use that one, you can reduce that execution time, which is not a major flaw. On the next video tutorial, we'll get introduced to the language C. After 2-3 tutorials, we'll get to the code blocks and explain the things what has done. So thanks for watching the tutorial. Please go to my website and check for the more video tutorials, and please free to comment in the YouTube. Thank you.